If you get dumped while you're in an interracial relationship, how much of a grace period exists in which it's now okay for you to occasionally, to a very mild degree, think privately racist thoughts about that person? It's at least a couple days, right? I'm just kidding. It's never okay to be racist. But every time I pass a Popeyes, I'm like, I bet she's in there. It's nothing mean or nasty, just every once in a while you let off a fun stereotype to make the pain go away. My ex was black and Asian, still is actually, so the hentai she watches is a lot girthier. She's also bisexual and has OCD, which means I literally dated a disabled LGBTQ BIPOC, so I think I'm statistically the biggest possible ally. You might talk a big game on Twitter, but while you're out in the streets, I'm making a difference in these sheets. Actually, we never met. Like most things with me, it was an online situation, a fan dynamic that turned lovably parasocial, except I was reciprocating, so we were both infested, and she lives in Canada. She was perfect for me by almost every account, and she said I was for her too, so I choose to believe it because it makes me look good. To oversimplify stuff, we were a pair for like a year, then we broke up, then a few months later we became an unofficial thing again, and that just ended recently. The defining issue was simple. Fucking kids. No, I do not mean having sex with children. I mean fucking like, oh man, those gosh darn kids. You know, like, I'd be married to this girl if it weren't for those meddling kids. Not that it was a specific group of kids that did anything. Like, no one showed up in a mystery machine and unmasked our relationship. Just the existence of children as a concept and the fact that she wanted them and I didn't. And let me tell you something. I did for her what I'd do for no one else. I considered that shit. I was like, what would this really be like? Life together with her, with kids, a demographic I historically despise, who've been the subject of so many stream of consciousness rants you'd think I'd have verbally yeeted all children out of existence by now. I actually entertained the idea of creating a few and helping raise them like Pokemon. Then reality came knocking, and I took a few more honest looks at myself and came to the conclusion that if I went down this path, I would do one of two things. I would either run out on them, or I would kill myself. I'd be like, I'll be back, I'm gonna go buy a pack of cigarettes, and she'd be like, why are you taking your suitcase? And I'd be like, I'm actually buying several packs of cigarettes. You're like, wow, you'd really run out on your wife and kids? I don't have a wife and kids, and they're welcome for it, because now most of them don't exist, and the girl who does can start a family with someone who's built for it, like she's already working on now. I remain the good guy by not creating the situation for myself. I just know that at some point, if not immediately upon hearing the news that she was pregnant, I'd find myself sitting in a chair with a baby in my arms, or pushing a couple toddlers on a swing, or having to be present and attentive at teaching children how to play video games. I would just feel this overwhelming sense of claustrophobia, this somehow expanding feeling of being trapped, and it would encase me in a suffocating shroud of panic until my lungs burst. I'm not a resilient person. If the conditions of my life are anything less than ideal, I'm looking for a cliff to jump off. It's an exaggeration, but the thoughts enter my head with no resistance. In episode 200, I give the majority of serious reasons I don't want kids and why I'm in fact terrified of the prospect. But so it's over now. We pretty much agreed that if she ever found someone local she could see something long-term with, I should get traded out, and in the meantime to just enjoy the time we had left until the impending doom of our relationship finally struck midnight. So that's apparently been found now. Boy, does it suck a fat sack of overripe melons, but it's unavoidable. It's the inevitability of long distance. There's apparently not a single female albino fan in the world who lives within a 2,000-mile radius of me. Maybe that's where the proximity of my charm starts. As long as you're in New Zealand or the UK, you're like, hell yeah, albino sexy AF. And then as soon as you file for asylum in the US, you're like, wait a second, he's taller and paler and skinnier than I thought, and he's too problematic to tell my friend group about. The thing that sucks the most about long-distance relationships that crumble before you even meet in person is that you never even got to meet in person. Imagine how incredibly natural and easy the whole thing could have been if you were just local to start with. You could hug and kiss them. You could hang out and drink together and party. You could do fun activities like frisbee golf and reverse cowgirl. You could go at it like wild animals or have slow romantic evenings of eye contact and bond building. But instead, you're across a national border and passports are a thing, and international pandemic rules are a thing, and outrageous plane ticket prices are a thing, and now you're no longer a thing. I re-downloaded Tinder. Tinder never fails to excite me for approximately 20 minutes before I remember it's just the same people on there as last time. And I'm getting older, so the only new people are like 18 to 19-year-olds whose age filters definitely don't have me in range. Every time I swipe right on a 19-year-old, I feel like I'm trying to download a YouTube video that's blocked in my country. It's like I'm watching her through a one-way mirror. This chick is never gonna see me. My taste in women has aged on the upper end. I'll be 28 in June. Like, I'm totally fine with women in their early 30s now, but it's also stayed the same on the lower end, so I still see an 18-year-old like, burritable. Where I'm located in Washington, though, has definitely seen a drought. There's no shortage of accounts, but it feels like the same dumpy plain girl named Christina made like 600 alts and mildly changed her face and hair in each of them. Oh, also, this same fucking dude who liked me a year ago liked me again. Albino, are you being transphobic? No, I mean it's a literal dude, like a gay man, who just hid himself amongst the female profiles, probably so he can troll for straight guys and try to flip them. This MFer is trying to James Charles me, and I'm not having it. I'm going to talk about e-girls now, because maybe it'll summon one. There's an NSFW e-girl subreddit that I'll browse like once a week where gamer girls go to post nudes with captions like, "First time showing my breasts online, please, be gentle." And then you look at their profile and they have 100,000 post karma and a link right to their OnlyFans like, "Okay, you liars, sorry, but the jig is up." One trend I see on there a lot, though, that I hate is girls will upload these ahegao videos. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But it's the thing where they stick their tongue out and cross their eyes upwards so it looks like hentai, and it's so fucking disgusting, I just can't stand it. It feels like their eyes are gonna pop out of their heads, and you'll get girls who otherwise look like attractive, down-to-earth people, and then they do that face, and it's like, oh, it's a fucking cartoon now. Ew. Sometimes they drool while they do it, and there's just no faster way to turn my penis into a vagina. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino. Watch all my other videos while your girlfriend lurks under your desk, and I'll see you guys next time.